Despite its appearance as just another arcadey sandbox game, Deliver at All Costs is shockingly story-minded. So much so that its constant focus on narrative might deter those just looking for some dumb fun. And after seeing the narrative through to the end, I wouldn't blame them, given how hard the game tries to be a grand tapestry of storytelling excellence. The adventure is structured into 3 acts, each with a unique town to explore and complete missions in. One act even features a time skip accompanied by a moment of no return, so even if you just want to ignore the story and focus on acing deliveries and causing mayhem in the streets, you still have to go through some cutscenes and narrative progression to unlock the next towns and side missions. Not that the side missions are worth doing anyway. The majority of side content in Deliver at All Costs isn't very enticing.
Remember, this is your life now. Wonder what Winston from 2 years ago would say if he knew.
Come in.
Here goes nothing.
Yes? Can I help you, young man? Yeah, shoot. Where are my manners? Harold F. Girther, CEO, but you can call me Harold.
The rewards aren't worth it, and the fetch quest design doesn't warrant the effort. I'd only recommend going out of your way for the side content if you're already keen on exploring the various maps. The treasure chests and small boxes hidden throughout the game give cash that is used on materials for vehicle upgrades. However, a majority of upgrades can be purchased from the main story mission rewards anyway. I expected to have fun with the vehicle upgrades, but ended up sorely disappointed in their limited application. This is because upgrades cannot be used outside of curated story missions, which is a bummer. Not that the crane attachment or extreme hauling capacity upgrade aren't fun to play with, they actually are rather fun, but exclusively used for their particular missions. Again, if you're expecting a zany vehicular sandbox with a lot of options and unlockables, Deliver at All Costs isn't that. The reason I keep associating the game with sandbox playability is due to its map design. It has an old school sort of 2D Grand Theft Auto style of isometric driving. In between story missions, you're given the leisure to roam around town freely. All of your driving and running around is done through a top-down isometric camera angle that gives the environments a nice dioramic look to them. And what's more, you can move the camera between 2 different angles in case it's difficult to see something.
Easy money. Whoops. Jackpot.
Watch your step.
All the unique shops and landmarks of this diorama give off the classic vibe well. Oh, and the soundtrack fits the setting wonderfully here. Lounge jazz and instrumental surfer rock accompany your deliveries, and it rarely ever gets repetitive. Tying it into GTA even more is the radio, with infrequent broadcasts that add flavor lore to the setting. Each town has multiple districts, each with their own theme, which helps vary up the scenery just that much more. So speaking of scenery, there's a surprising amount of activity going on while you're driving around delivering stuff. NPCs go about their business, birds glide across the sky, and plenty of vehicle traffic accompany the streets. In fact, there's often a tad too much activity. Streets are so packed with cars and people that collisions are unavoidable. I like how populated the game is, sure, but it's tuned a bit too high, getting in the way of enjoyability a lot of the time. Perhaps it would have been better balanced to up the street traffic the further you get into the game, especially since the towns progress from rural to metropolitan through the course of the narrative. At the very least, there's an attractive minimap with well-designed labels and indicators. Navigation is aided with helpful arrows showing the way to a mission destination as well. But you aren't merely delivering parcels to a destination in a given time limit. There are a variety of ways the game mixes up its missions. Part of the game's initial draw is its physics-based driving, which manifests in some hilarious ways.
Jeez.
One of the first missions tasks you with delivering a truck full of rotted watermelons. The first step is to bring them to a sanitizer, then you paint them so they look presentable, all while avoiding traffic and trying not to knock them over as they roll around in the back of the truck. It's one of the most enjoyable missions in the whole game, and one that demonstrates the physics gameplay best. I like how the missions get progressively more wacky and clever as you progress too. You even become a UFO hunter during one late game job. It's just too bad the very high traffic and wonky controls hamper the overall experience. The driving controls are actually rather simple. Just aim in the direction you want to drive and hold the accelerate button. It's the high sensitivity of the acceleration and the hard braking and turning that contribute to a somewhat frustrating experience. The high traffic just further compounds the controls to make for a somewhat clunky driving experience. Vehicles don't differ in how they drive either, though you really only have the one truck for a large majority of the game anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. And the cars aren't great to look at either. Heck, nothing looks particularly nice in the game, especially the characters. Facial animations are frankly bad, and the bland art style doesn't make up for the graphical shortcomings. What's worse is there's still some pretty substantial load times in between regions, which hurts the flow of the open world. But the element that gets hurt from graphics the most is the mixed story. It's hard to take the drama seriously when it's presented so poorly. There's an attempt at cinematic camera angles during cutscenes, but textures are featureless and close-ups of people's faces are serious PS1 quality stuff. Thankfully, a handful of characters are quite likable despite what their low poly models suggest. Winston's delivery mates have surprising depth and a good amount of backstory, and Winston himself is a fully fledged personality and someone you can imagine working with. Characters like Norman are instantly likable, while Winston's arch-nemesis and hardline boss Donovan is perfectly punchable. I'm also impressed with a majority of the dialogue writing. Characters speak with a down-to-earth tone and level in formality that makes them realistic, even if they do look like untextured Unity assets.
Winston, you're back. How did it go?
Well, all things considered, he's late.
Give the man a break, Donnie. Remember your first day here.
Hardly comparable. Oh, wait a second. What do you mean first day?
Going back to where I started the review, the game goes surprisingly hard on the story axis, but it doesn't fully land for me. The wacky but down-to-earth tone is great, but the execution of the plot doesn't wrap up in a satisfying way. Winston's mysterious past and the true motives of the delivery company's executives had so much potential for an intriguing narrative thread. The finale just kind of falls flat without the payoff that the game was actually teasing. As a whole, Deliver at All Costs delivers a zany and fun, though frustrating isometric delivery game with a story that tries a bit too hard. I can easily see this game being a cult classic, but for a majority of gamers, it won't deliver a truly stunning experience. If you're looking for a game with a wacky and inventive premise that experiments a bit and don't mind some gameplay and graphics from like 3 generations ago, give Deliver at All Costs a try. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.